Now, this is 2018 when this video was taken, and I want you to see how Shepherd Bushiri deceives his congregation into believing that his coming arrest is persecution from the government that is jealousy of his success.
Listen, prophets will go through serious problems. Let me speak for myself in particular. For the sake of you, I'll be betrayed.
Now he says, for the sake of you, I'll be betrayed. That sounds like Jesus when he told his disciples that he's going to be betrayed as he faced the cross.
And for your own sake. But you see, I have seen this trouble before it has come.
Imagine what it does to the congregation when they are told that he has seen it before it comes. That is it's a very psychological, it has very strong psychological implications. Because what happens then is that they truly believe that this person saw this coming. Of course, he saw it coming. He saw it coming because he knows his dealings, he knows what is about to blow up.
It was easy for me to say, let me run away from the trouble. Let me move to another place. But I'm ready for that trouble.
So now this shows what he just said here shows that Shepherd at some point he considered moving countries in order to avoid this whole thing, but he decided to stay and fight.
For your sake, Apostle Paul said, for your own sake, I have become a slave. And I want to say this, and as I normally say, I fear nothing. And I'm not afraid of anything coming ahead of me. I'm prepared for it.
Now, this also strengthens the congregation because they believe that the man is being persecuted for the sake of the gospel. So he has taken his own personal battles for his own dealings, and he's now placing the part of it, the burden, to the congregation so that the congregation stand with him.
I've been serving under the ministry for the past 7 years, and I believe it's now my time to stand with them because I believe God sent him in South Africa for a purpose. And irrespective of what's happening now, I believe eventually justice will prevail. I think it's utter rubbish. I don't believe the prophet will do such. I think it's just something they're using to tarnish his image. But I believe that the God that we serve will fight for him, and eventually the truth will come out. But irrespective of what happens, that is not going to change how I see them, because how I look at them, because they are my parents, they are my prophets, and I believe so much in them. I believe so much in the God that they serve.
She doesn't believe that the Bushiris would do something like that. As a person, can you have the guts to say you do not believe that so-and-so has not committed this crime or this offense? You don't stay with Shepherd Bushiri 24/7. You don't know what he's doing with Mdolo there. You don't know what deals they are doing. You don't know how they are moving money in and out of South Africa. This goes to show the lack of critical thinking within the church. If you question the men of God, they view it as an unbelief. So they cannot see themselves questioning. So now this brings us to the issue of corruption. So as on this Bushiri case, we have seen that the Home Affairs Minister came out and announced the discrepancies that were on about the Bushiri's visas. And the other thing is that is it a day ago or yesterday, they announced that there has been some members of staff that have been suspended at the Home Affairs. So that means now the state is actually they are doing a cleanup as they go. They are actually doing a cleanup as they go. And so this is just an example of how these men of God are actually thriving in Africa. And Nigeria is a good example. That's the headquarters of the corruption by these so-called men of God. They cannot be sued if they abuse anyone. There are many cases of abuse that have been shelved against men of God there in Nigeria. And some families are fighting to trying to get justice, but they can't because they are poor. They can't sue the men of God. The man of God is corrupt and he has connections to top officials. And these are things that are happening in Nigeria today. There is no man of God that goes to prison in Nigeria. Even if they know that these things have happened, there is overwhelming evidence to show that they have been involved in somebody's murder or they have been involved in abuse. You cannot sue them in Africa. They even bribe, they even pay the media to stop writing their cases. In Nigeria, that's that's exactly what goes on there. Coming to Zimbabwe, we have, I was about to mention that Bushiri is not the first one, actually, to take people's money in the name of investments. There is Walter Magaya. Walter Magaya had his program called Yada Connect. He advertised that, oh, come and invest into mining and agriculture. And people brought in money. And when they brought in money, it wasn't a problem putting your money in there, and people got their receipts to show that they have invested. Even here in the United Kingdom, there is a lady who was collecting people's monies there and giving out receipts, and people kept their evidence that they have invested in that Yada Connect. And now what has happened is that the Yada Connect program was stopped. Walter Magaya stopped it. There has not been any update whatsoever as to what is going on with the mining, what is going on with the agriculture. Nobody has gotten their money back. If you hear anybody saying they got their money back, there are people that Walter Magaya pays in order to come out saying that they got their money back. Actually, there is nobody who got their money back. Magaya actually owes a lot of money, and some of his properties are being attached by the banks because he can't pay it. He can no longer make his money in US dollars now. Because the economy in Zimbabwe, they removed the US dollars at that time. But at the time that he got those loans, they were still using US dollars. But now he can't make that money in US dollars. So the man is screwed up. He is screwed up big time. Now, because of the issue of corruption, my concern is there is massive potential of corruption continuing, and this is a case that is can be very lucrative to some people high up there, and they may find an opportunity of making it big really at this time. And it's very worrying. You and I should be worried if you are concerned about South Africa setting an example of having a strong judicial system. And this case is going to prove what South Africa is really made of. And my question is, will the ordinary people, the former members of Bushiri who lost money in those investments, will they ever get justice? Will they ever get justice? Yeah, it's really a very hard question, and because of the complexity of this whole thing.